Hello everybody, and welcome to my new series, One Lap on Every Forza Motorsport 7 circuit. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking every circuit in Motorsport 7 and taking one lap on them, no practice laps. I have two cars, one of which is a speed-based tune and the other is a handling-based tune. Both of which are an S-Class, as that's a good middle ground when it comes to class. And I'm going to be comparing them on each track. I've tested it, and they have not much of an advantage on their own. It's the tracks that make a lot of the difference. Both of the cars I use here have STM and TCS turned on, as well as ABS on, manual sequential shifting without clutch, and normal steering just to even the playing field. As well as that, we will be going over a certain amount of tracks per episode. Anyways, let's get into it. So, first up, we have Bathurst, also known as Mount Panorama. You can see on screen our speed-based car, a Porsche Carrera GT. I'm sorry for all the Paul Walker fans out there, but this is a lot better than a Ferrari FF when it comes to speed, trust me. It had the fastest time on the track by almost 3 seconds. The handling-based car, an Ariel Atom, had a 2 minutes, 22 second, and 900 millisecond time, whereas this Porsche had a 2 minute, 20 second, 0.21 milliseconds. So, nearly a full 3 seconds of time saved on the Porsche's part. I think that some of the, turns here are a little bit sketchy, like that one right there. You can see her fishtailing. But if I fixed up some of these turns and got a faster chicane, because I know I can, right after this thing coming up, then I bet that I could get a faster time and probably push it below a 3 second difference. So next up is the Bernese Alps, a track series introduced in Forza Motorsport 4 and still one of my favorite in Motorsport 7 due to its high-speed corners and challenging design through those corners for a lot of cars, including these ones. Even though it does seem to be very high-speed based, the Porsche was slower on all three tracks. On the festival circuit, which is essentially a full circuit, the Porsche got a 156.387, while the Ariel got a 154.470. On the Stadtplatz circuit, which is kind of a middle ground, I hope I'm saying that name right. I definitely messed up Bathurst. Anyways, the Porsche got a 134.7, whereas the Ariel got a 134.1, a lot less of a difference there. And then the club circuit, it's back to a 1 to 2 second difference, with the Porsche getting a 128.1 and the Ariel getting a 126.5. Now, there are also 3 reverse circuits, one for every standard one. And I decided that for these reverse circuits, I'm going to take the car that had the fastest time in the original circuit, or standard circuit, and only test it. Otherwise, there would be more testing involved, and therefore there maybe might be a time stretch and all of this other stuff. And TLDR, I'm not very good at adhering to time restrictions. So anyways, the Ariel Atom was slower on most of the circuits. On the festival circuit, it was slower by 1.1 seconds, getting a 155.5. The Stadtplatz was slower by about 1.8 seconds, if I am doing the math in my head right, with a 136.357. And in the club circuit, it was actually faster by 200 milliseconds. Instead of a 126.541, it got a 126.309. Kind of interesting. I was assuming that the Porsche would do a lot better, because you can see a lot of long straights here, but honestly, I think it may have been my driving, because I have a feeling that adding one extra lap of practice would have made both times a little closer. Also, if the aerial hadn't slammed into the wall on the festival circuit that I took, then it would have probably gotten a faster time too. Alright, on to Brands Hatch. Funny enough, this was the first track that I drove in the game. I've always kind of had a hankering for having Brands Hatch in racing games. Don't know why. But I drove it with an i8 for no reason other than I thought, why not? Anyways, on the Brands Hatch GP circuit, which is what you are seeing right now, the aerial was, as you might assume for a GP circuit, faster. It was faster by 1.3 seconds, getting a 136.141, while the Porsche had a 137.459. For the Indy circuit, however, which has a lot more straights on it, the Porsche was faster with a 51.885, and the aerial being 1 second slower at 52.961. Honestly, I think that my driving with the Atom was pretty good. There were a few corners, like the first one, that I went a little wide on, but I was pretty alright with the driving. And the Porsche I was also pretty decent with. So overall, I think it was a good race, but some practice would have made it better, just like all the other tracks. The last set of tracks that we'll be looking at today is Catalunya. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. First up is the GP circuit. On this track, the times were almost tied, which was interesting. The Porsche was slightly slower with a 202.879, and the aerial had a 202.810, so the aerial was slightly faster on this track. The other two tracks, however, are a little different. The National Circuit, which is kind of like the GP circuit cut down the middle, had the Porsche having a faster time by 2 seconds. Again, I'm assuming this is a discrepancy because I didn't practice enough, but still. Well, I didn't practice at all. The Porsche got a 1 minute 23.563, whereas the aerial got a 125.548. I'm assuming this is because it just has one little hairpin and not the whole section of turns on the left side if you look at the map of it. Anyways, School Circuit, the smallest Catalunya circuit, was also going back into the aerial's favor. The Porsche had a 50.494 time, and the aerial had a 49.033. My driving here was kind of the same old sort of thing. It was alright turning, maybe the rear end slipping out, like on that previous turn there. But overall decent. I think that, just like most of the other tracks, better turns and more practice would have helped. So that's the first episode of the new series. I hope you liked it. Next episode, I am going to be covering, if I check here, Coda, Daytona, and the whole of Dubai. Might do Hockenheimring. I believe I am. It's hopefully going to be about 12 tracks per episode, but I've already listed all of them, and some of them we have Nürburgring and Le Mans, so those will be shorter when it comes to the amount of tracks. Next episode, I will be giving myself one practice lap, because post, editing and all that, I can tell there's some strange discrepancies. Like, if I try to redo it just 2 laps instead of 1, then there's already a huge difference in time. So yeah, 1 practice lap, 1 genuine lap for next episode. Otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good, so see you guys next time. Have a good sleep, and oyasumi nasai.